What happens when a woman who last saw her father when she was 6 weeks old has to try and guess who he is out of 8 potential daddies? Will she win $100,000 for guessing correctly? And can the other potential daddies fool her into thinking it's them and take her money? To answer this and many more questions, allow me to take us back to the beginning. Hello and welcome to Lawd Lukan. It's time to get your acting pants on as we review a one-off reality TV show called Who's Your Daddy? On today's show, TJ meets the daddies. 7 men try and mislead her. Are we finding a daddy or a date?
Giving and sensitive.
Can she eliminate the right men?
I feel like you could be my father.
And what's the big old twist at the end? All this and more right here on the Lawd Lukan channel.
Your dad is behind that door right now.
Good day, bienvenue, and konbanwa to you. Big loves to those who've subscribed, you beautiful people, and a room in the West Wing to the lords and ladies of the Lukan Manor. Have you ever thought, mon petit pois, that maybe Lalu is the pinnacle of bad parenting? Or that 90 Day Fiancé is the epitome of sharing personal moments with the reality TV watching world? Well, what if there was a show that combines these two things and then chucks in a cash prize just for the fun of it? Back in 2005, Fox created just such a show called Who's Your Daddy?, where a woman named TJ Myers gets reunited with her father, who she's not seen since she was 6 weeks old. The only problem is that she has to guess which one of 8 men is that guy, and the other 7 have to try and make her think it's him. The show was supposed to air for 6 episodes, but due to controversy and more fallout than a trampolining bikini model in Chernobyl, it got shelved and they only released a pilot episode, which they aired on Father's Day 2005. So then, let's meet our girl, shall we?
I was adopted when I was 6 weeks old. And the records were closed.
Yes, indeed. TJ here has to gradually eliminate the potential fathers, and if she gets it right, she gets $100,000. But if one of the men convinces her that he's her father, then he takes her money instead. So not only has she got the task of a lifetime, but here are 7 men trying to stop her from doing it. Yay, reality TV. I'm sure there's nothing morally wrong with exploiting a deep personal pain for cash. They couldn't just do a Dr. Phil and let the poor woman know. They had to totally mess with her head at the same time. Good job. I don't know why they decided to throw a cash incentive into the mix. You'd think that getting a dad back might be a fairly big payoff. But no, this is the noughties, you know. And what's a reality TV show without a big old mansion, some splashy shiny graphics, and a bunch of guys in suits? It was, after all, that time that gave us Hell's Kitchen, America's Top Model, Housewives of bloody well everywhere, Dog the Bounty Hunter, and of course that epic Steven Seagal Lawman. So, hide your dog as I ask you, do you think you can guess who's your daddy? Well, let's meet Daddy and get an idea of what he's like.
I never wanted to give up my daughter. The guilt was very deep in my heart.
So, are you ready to play, ladies and gentlemen? Well, let's begin. We kick off by meeting our host, and every show needs a decent anchor. One of my favourite shows, Beauty and the Geek, had Brian McFadden. Top Model had Tyra Banks. Okay, what about Ryan Seacrest? So anyway, let's hope that fellow Brit Finola Hughes, who once played Anna Devane in the top quality General Hospital, can do it without attracting any unnecessary attention to herself.
We'll see her lifelong dream come true when she meets her birth father for the very first time.
Well, that's a General Hospital level production right there. Slightly less wooden than an episode of Thunderbirds, but hey, this is her first presenting gig. Let's hope she gets the hang of it later on. So, how does the show justify this process?
We've recreated this woman's difficult search in a way that allows her to get to know her dad before finally being reunited with him.
Recreated, of course, yes. They're just recreating that common event where those people go around filling delightful mansions with a bunch of strangers and challenging them to mislead her for cash. Yeah, that happens to me all the time, yeah. And it's just like what TJ was doing before that TV crew came along. Then we get a little more background into TJ. As I said earlier, she was adopted at 6 weeks old, and then
my parents got a divorce when I was about 12 years old.
My parents are really great parents.
Not great hairdressers, though, were they? Check out that criminal fringe. Oh, that's one for the album, isn't it? But I am getting a bit of drama vibe about her. Perhaps it's my cynical nature, but she's got a very acty feel to her. Like she's sort of over-embellishing or trying to force her feelings out. But whatever the case, she tried looking for her parents in her late teens and early 20s and found that her dad was 19 at the time and was either in the Navy or the Marines. As, through her research, she eliminated the chance that he was a construction worker, policeman, or a native Indian chief. And we do see a picture of her birth parents for just a brief moment. Back to the mansion, and it's time for TJ to arrive.
Hi, TJ.
Yeah, don't worry about saying hi back then. Rude. Put you up in this nice big place and you can't even be bothered to say hi. Well, they are making a TV show out of holding a dad to ransom, so maybe we wouldn't be so pleased to see them either. Bless her though, it must be a very nerve-wracking time. Right, let's bring out the boys. And as you can imagine, TJ starts to lose it. I mean, this is great TV, but there must be a point when she thinks, hold up a second, this is a little bit more than I'm ready to take on. Can you imagine if they didn't tell her there was 8 guys? What would be going through her mind? Would she think there was some sort of cup that they're denoted to? A little bit like when everybody puts their keys into a bowl, except, you don't want to go putting your hands in there.
TJ, your dad's standing right in front of you now.
So, 7 of these guys are actors, but more than one of them is crying, or at least more than one of them is doing a great job at crying. Now, they have done a DNA test, so it's been confirmed that one of them actually is. And if not, well, that'd be a hell of a twist at the end, wouldn't it? And what if she eliminates her actual dad during the process? Now, you've got to question the morality of this show, and the fact that they put $100,000 on the table to encourage the fake dads to act correctly. Now, I'm thinking she's probably not bothered about the money. But would you be able to go through this? Conversely, would you be able to lie to someone who is having an emotional aneurysm so that you can rob $10,000 from her? That takes a certain type of person to see her crying and go, ha, I'm totally going to mess with your head and nick your money. You'd at least want some kind of sign that she's a bad person or something. Wouldn't you like, she's horrible to animals or something? Also, if you're the dad seeing your child that you gave away years ago going through more emotional turmoil and going, nah, it's fine, it's for Fox TV or whatever it's called. And do you know how they found him?
One is, in fact, your biological father that we were able to track down through reunitetoday.com.
Yep, they just went on a website. That's like saying we were able to track him down for the sophisticated process of going on Facebook. Good job. So, let's get on our judgmental pants, shall we, and meet them. And let's see if you can spot the genuine reaction. First, we have Carl from Cali.
And I'm your dad.
Oh, he's good, isn't he? He's got the whole red eyes going on, a slight break in his voice. He's either a father or a great actor and a total bastard. He's earning that 10k there, isn't he? Not like old beardy man over the shoulder. Come on now, put some effort into it. This is Scott from Washington.
My name is Scott, and I'm your dad.
No, you're not. You're fired. I didn't believe that for a second. Right, we can get rid of him straight away. Are we allowed to sack them as we do this? It'd be a lot quicker. I didn't even believe his name was Scott, frankly. Then we have Charlie from Arizona. I don't like the look of him. He's got a face that says, you touch that thermostat again and I'll fetch the belt.
I live in Yuma, Arizona, and I'm your dad.
It was that raised eyebrows for me. My son does that when he's telling me his Xbox controller happened to completely fall apart unaided by his desk. Next is Peter from Arizona. Seems like a nice guy. TJ does look somewhat intrigued by him. So, is he the daddy?
And I'm your dad.
Ooh, nice little wobble at the end in the voice. Nice touch. But is he the kind of guy that might have been a Marine or in the Navy? Well, I'm not convinced. Then we have Ray from Cali. Again, seems to be trying to convince us that his name is Ray.
I'm from Redondo Beach, California, and I'm your dad.
I don't know. Have you got a second song? Nope. Goodbye, Ray. It's not you. By the way, as I'm writing this, I'm watching for the first time, so I actually have no idea who it is at this point. So for all I know, moody old Charlie might be the guy. Then we have Rockin' Rick from San Clemente or something.
My name is Rick. I'm from San Clemente, California.
Oh, come on, Rick. Didn't you get the memo? You're supposed to be all sad because you ditched her at 6 weeks old. There you are, smiling away. Those are some very nice teeth, though, aren't they? I think Rick is more likely to have a home improvement show on cable TV. He might sort of sell you one of those folding ladders.
So really, you say,
Oh God, Harold, are you okay?
actually, I didn't have it locked.
And I'm your dad.
Yeah, alright, Rick, you dick. No, you're not. 0 points for you. But maybe he was going for the whole happy to see you angle, but I'm not buying it. Then we have Jerry, who looks like he's swallowing my shoe.
I live in Norco, California, and I'm your dad.
But he does the whole eyebrow thing too, so it's a no from me. Our last potential daddy is Sam from Arkansas, who is one of those guys who've had the same haircut since the 80s. And he's got a bit of a fierce face too. It's hard to tell if he's just a bit of an arse and is her dad, or that he's just a bit of an arse and he's there to make 100k.
And I'm your dad.
One of those guys is my dad.
Oh, I've got this, TJ. Allow me. Maybe, nope, hope not, no, you gotta be kidding me. I want my shoe back, and hope not part 2. See, this is easy. Can we eliminate them now? I'd have these guys down to like 3 people by now. The 2 hope nots and Mr. Maybe. He did do a good job of looking like he was upset though, but TJ has her own thoughts.
There was this one guy that seemed to have true emotions. Scott.
Scott? Really? Did they edit a bit out when he was looking convincing? But she also thinks it could be Charlie or 80s hair guy. If she said Rick, I think I would have eliminated her out of general principle. But when she says this, I can kind of get where she's coming from.
He was trying so hard not to show emotion that I thought maybe that's my dad.
Yeah, okay, well now we get that new bit of footage, yeah, possibly, but I'm not sold on that yet. Or maybe he's acting like he's showing emotion, but he sucks at acting, so he just looks like he's acting like a guy who's not trying to show emotions. I'm still with Charlie myself. So, on to round 2, which is a bit like speed dating. They've set up a cocktail party, even though they're all drinking wine, but, we won't mention that. And she's going to get to talk to everyone and see if she gets that feel for her father. Well, that's probably badly worded. But the TV show have told all the guys everything she knows about her real father.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, this is Sam and Peter.
Hi.
So have fun.
They don't look like Funorama though, do they? This has got to be one of the most awkward events since P. Diddy's welcome to prison party. But this round is a get to know you round, and she's going to ask speed dating type questions. Her first question is,
What 2 things would your friends say to describe you?
so we know 80s hair Sam is going to lie before he even says anything. He doesn't have any friends. That's actually quite a hard question though, isn't it? I think different friends would say different things, and you'd have to mentally choose the friend who you think would say the coolest things about you. I'd love it if they actually cut to the friends and see what they actually say. And then Fernando could pop out with a little card and said, that's the incorrect answer. The 2 words I was looking for are short and forgetful.
To a fault, honest, and willing to help.
To a fault, honest. Blech. This isn't a job interview, you know? Yes, I'm a real team player and I think outside the box while synergizing and leveraging core. Blech. He really had to think about that second one though, didn't he? Willing to help, which is clearly different to actually being helpful. Yeah, I 110% bring a unique perspective to cross-function helpfulness without actually being helpful. So, while he goes off to pretend golf's a real sport with the boys from the office, we go to Peter for his answers.
Okay, and you?
Giving and sensitive.
Alright, Peter, put her down. This isn't real speed dating, you know. Who else feels slightly violated by that?
And sensitive.
I need an adult. If it turns out to be Peter, I think she should run away immediately. Hope they don't all sleep in this mansion overnight. If so, I think TJ needs to be locking that door of hers. Next, we've got Moody Charlie, and a personal favourite of mine, Rockin' Ricky. Come on, Rick. I've just been super supportive of you. Don't go letting me down.
You're Rick?
Yes.
And you're Charlie.
Ricky boy's still smiling. How can you not love a bit of Rick holding onto that glass of wine like his life depended on it? And the questions she's asking do seem like dating questions, though. As her next question is,
What would you guys say your biggest passion is?
well, Rick loves tanning and smiling. And Charlie seems to have got a lot less severe this time. And a lot more nervous. Maybe I've judged him a bit too soon. Maybe that was just the old nerves making him look like he might bury you under his extension. So Rick says,
I love to explore the soul, find the good in everybody.
oh, you've got to lost all your cool points. Sure, that looks great on your Tinder profile, but what does it actually mean? Like, okay, we've got some downtime, so what do? You go find a dickhead and try and find something good about them? Hellraiser like to explore people's souls, doesn't mean you want them for a parent. You let me down, Ricky. Let's see if Charlie can do any better.
Write poetry.
Alright, Dickinson. You know, if I was there's an obvious follow-up question. Can you recite some for me, please? And watch him squirm. Roses are red, oceans are blue, I'm your dad, bicycle. Let's just hope Crying Carl can do a bit better.
M&M's.
Good job. Now that's an answer. It's a bit crap, which probably means it actually fell off the top of his head, not like the last two who sounded rehearsed. And it was normal, you know, no pretense, no sort of dating profile answer. Just a silly thing that made him seem relatable and genuine. Well, I like him now.
But I had to stop that because I was getting too fat.
Bless him, what a nice guy. Yeah, you better not go letting me down like bloody Ricky, who's now in the corner of shame, alongside Peter the Plonker and 80s Hair Sam. I'm still hoping that serial killer Charlie was just a bit nervous and said something cringe by accident, because he wanted to come across as sensitive and creative, but didn't want to make everybody vomit by actually saying he was sensitive. Peter? I wonder what else he said that they didn't show. But Crying Carl may not have been far off.
Carl said something that was like right on with what I like. My number one candy when I was a little girl was M&M's.
Okay, well now I'm even more convinced that Crying Carl might be the dad. These two clearly share the same family brain cell too. Wow, he likes M&M's, as do millions of people in America, I'm guessing. Wow, he likes breathing. Me too, we must be related. Anyway, Jerry, who ate my shoe, is next.
Love to golf. Can't get enough golf.
Get out. Go whack your wedge with 80s Hair Sam. Even the phrase, I like to golf, is a bit weird. Golf is a noun and a verb, so that's actually kind of correct to say. But also correct is, I did golf today. It's also a countable noun, which means it's actually correct to say, I played some golfs today. See, golf is stupid, and the word is stupid, and it's totally not a sport. That's why they took out the Olympics for over a century. Then someone with too much time on their hands thought they'd bring it back for the 2016 Rio Olympics with individual stroke play events, which, sounds like Olympic wanking. And for the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles, they're going to have mixed team stroke events. Well, blimey. But I thought the Olympics was supposed to be a family-friendly event. And whoever put this stuff together was clearly trolling. In order to qualify, you have to have a 72-hole stroke play. Steady on now. Busy man. And the top 15 players automatically qualify, with additional spots for global representation. So that means that old Ming from Outer Mongolia can rock up and start whacking balls about with his gerbil. It's totally fine and dandy. Anyway, back to Dad's boring pants of people with their passions for the mundane. Men over 50 are the worst people who ask about hobbies, aren't they? It's always something super dull. They try to make out there's something interesting about it.
Tried jogging and bicycle riding, but I like to go slower because you can absorb a lot more.
Yeah, sorry, Peter, I got totally distracted by how mind-numbingly boring whatever he was saying was. In fact, he was so toe-curlingly uninteresting that they started to play TJ's narration over whatever the blah-blah who cares he was talking about.
I got no feelings.
I just love the water.
And I hope I wasn't rude.
Read the room, Peter. She doesn't care. I was actually going to replay it to see what he was actually saying. But I had more important things to do, like sort of poke my eye with a spoon. So TJ escapes and unleashes her next super amazing question.
How would your friends describe you?
Oh no, it's another question that sounds like it's going to elicit a dating answer. She should chuck a big old hammer of a question in there, like, why did you fuck off when I was young? But I bet she'd still get the same old tacky answers, because I'm sensitive, because I had poetry to write, because I had a bunch of bodies to bury in the basement. But Rick has the chance to redeem himself and get out of that corner of shame.
All my friends call me their best friend.
Alright, back in the corner, Ricky Dick. See, you've gone from Rocky Ricky to Rick the Dick now. Those shiny white teeth aren't keeping the BS under wraps, are they? If you've got like one friend, okay, yeah, maybe. But there's no way that everybody thinks you're the most amazing friend ever. Either that or your friends are liars too. Okay, Charlie, let's see if you can do any better.
Trustworthy.
I see what he's doing there. Yeah, you can trust that I'm your dad because I told you my mates think I'm trustworthy. Yeah, therefore, 200 IQ answer. Yeah, good job.
Sincere. And a lot of fun.
Fun? What? Oh, I mean, good old serial killer Charlie. He's a barrel of laughs, clearly. Being fun is something people should notice, not being told. Otherwise, it's like saying, I'm a comedian, and then people will immediately say, oh, go on then, tell us a joke. Or if someone says, I'm a gymnast, you would expect them to then pop out a backflip to prove it. One man who is kind of fun, though, is Ray, who gets to answer the next question. What do you dislike the most in other people?
Cheaters and liars, telemarketers at dinner time.
See, there you go. That's how you do dad fun. That's a solid dad joke right there. He's got another one about thermostats and leaving lights on too. And that warmth and humour is TJ considering him much more closely. Although most of the guys said something to the effect of, I'm honest, yet we know 7 of these guys are totally lying. One guy who we haven't heard much from is Subpar Scott. They've got another chance to put those eyebrows into action with the question, how do your friends describe you? Which is kind of similar to the last question, but let's keep going.
My friends would probably describe me as gregarious.
Cool, so your friends like to make up words to describe you. Nice. He did, of course, mean gregarious, but I think he lost TJ with all those syllables. But TJ doesn't agree with me. Her interactions with Scott have apparently been the most convincing yet, in her mind.
He's either an Academy Award-winning actor, or that was my dad.
And welcome Academy Award-winning actor, Scott DiCaprio. Neither being her father or an actor ring right for me. I have a feeling it's serial killer Charlie. I want it to be Crying Carl, and I'll have a feeling it'll end up being Riffy Ray or 80s Hair Sam. But all this thinking is sending TJ into a spin.
Oh my god, what if it's not my dad? And what if it's this guy over here and I'm totally not paying any attention to him? And then his feelings are hurt because I thought it was this guy.
Shh, it's okay. Calm down. Someone get the Valium enema ready. Because it's time to eliminate 4 of the 8 men. But like me, you might be wondering, what if she eliminates her real dad? Does the game keep going, or do they stop it and go, oh, sorry about that, you've lost 100k and your dad's Jerry ate my shoe. Sorry about that, but thanks for coming.
Don't worry, you cannot eliminate your dad, and I'll explain more of that later.
But my beautiful viewer, she's not off to do some very deep thinking. No, there's a little twist, sort of, kind of. Instead of taking her to a delightfully lit room for much deliberation, they take her to a secret room where she can spy on the dads as they have a buffet dinner.
We set up this before, and none of the dads know that you can see them.
Okay.
Anybody have a good fishing story to tell?
Oh, God, that must be awful. Have you ever sat next to a 50-plus-year-old man as he eats? Noise of all that food slopping around as he's heavily nose-breathing? Now multiply that by 8 and you've got ASMR torture right there. Along the way, she thinks it's Scott because she and him like ice cream. Yeah, good job. But then he eats the cherry and she doesn't like cherries, so, she dismisses that idea. She thinks Crying Carl is too young, but then finds out they're all old enough to be her father. But she does say that she thinks it's 80s Hair Sam, because he looked at her like he was trying to hide his emotions. Oh no, could I have accidentally joked the right dad? Well, it's not going to change my mind, I'm going to stick to my thoughts so far. So the guys will assemble outside for the elimination. And we go back to what Finola said about not being able to eliminate her dad. So, TJ will select 4 guys, which will then create 2 groups. They will then tell her which group of 4 guys she can take to the next round. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea, I thought. But what do you think, dear viewer? Who's next to get the boot? Well, first neck on the block is 80s Hair Sam.
I don't feel that you're my father.
Ooh, did he seem genuinely upset to anyone else? That man looked like he just had his heart broken. Or he's a good actor and is gutted that he's not about to win 100,000k. There's that sit-on lawnmower gone down the drain. Next is serial killer Charlie.
I feel like you could be my father.
Me too, even though I just totally bought 80s Hair Sam's reaction, but they're in different groups now, so, oh no, I'm not sure now. Well, those that are guys that I thought it could be, what about the guys that I wanted to be? So, what about Crying Carl?
When I saw you with the 8 men, I didn't know what to think.
Now there's a sentence. Probably thought he needed a good supply of baby oil. But Crying Carl goes through. How's 80s Hair Sam doing? Is he having a breakdown over there in Loser's Corner? I actually feel slightly bad for him. He better be a good actor, and put me out of my misery. But I don't feel bad for Jerry Ate My Shoe, who gets eliminated next. Then it's Rick the Dick, who put her off with all that smiling earlier. And so...
But I think you could be my father.
What? That didn't even make sense. She thought all his smiling was confusing, unusual, so therefore he might be her dad. Genius. Next to be eliminated, Peter the Pervy Plonker and Riffy Ray, which meant Academy Award-winning Scott goes through to the next round. What, Scott? No way. Well, my choices have been split up. What about yours? Did yours make it through? Well, now it's time to see how she did. Is her father either Crying Carl, serial killer Charlie, Rick the Dick, or Academy Award-winning Scott? Well...
I have to tell you that your father is... in that group of men.
So, Crying Carl cries about it, Rick the Dick flashes his teeth, Scott thanks the Academy and God, and Charlie sharpens his axe. And it turns out that Sam is actually called Ed, Jerry ate my shoe was a salesman called Craig, Peter the Pervy Plonker was Robert from North Hollywood.
It's sure been wonderful being part of your journey.
Someone check his hard drive. And Riffy Ray was a guy called Al. Then they all have a good laugh about how they tried to rob her of 100k. And meeting her dad. Oh, you guys. The next morning, and it's time to get back to work. That's got to be a tough one to sleep through, isn't it? Not only because she's got so many questions running through her mind, but because she's had to share a house with a load of older guys. And this morning, she seems more clear about who she thinks it was. Last night, she was fairly sure Academy Award-winning Scott, but having thought about it, she thought all the men had a similar reaction, except one man who was looking at her differently.
Almost to say, I'm proud of you, daughter.
Or he was just pleased that he'd bought a new shovel for the moment. So, GJ meets up for Nola in the morning, ready for action. But what amazing ways they have to eliminate more guys today. To start, Fanola has a little fact about her father that TJ never knew.
So back in the day, he was a really great disco dancer.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. And now we go over to the guys for a good old-fashioned... Nah, I'm only joking. Actually, I'm not. TJ has to take the dads off to a club and try to get them dancing to see which dad's got the best swivelly hips. Yes, indeedy. We are about to be wowed by 4 dads dancing.
Let's go get your groove on.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh yes, grab your popcorn because there's nothing more entertaining than dads getting busy on the dance floor. Although I think one man has just given himself away. Check this out.
Okay, we're actually going...
Look at that footwork. Right, it's serial killer Charlie. I don't even need to watch this anymore. He's totally the dad. Final answer, no need to phone a friend. Lock that bitch in. But that wouldn't be any fun, wouldn't it? Let's make them dance anyway. But to keep the guessing element, let's make up our own show. Who's going to be the worst dancer on the floor? Well, Crying Carl and Academy Award-winning Scott both have their shirts tucked in, so I'm guessing we'll see all the coordination of a drunk Thunderbird with an inner ear infection. And I think Rick the Dick is going to be all thrust, maybe get down and do more floor humping than a Vanilla Ice video. But before that, TJ has a very important question.
Can everyone count?
Damn it, that's Scott out already. So she teaches them a few moves, and the next task is for them to freestyle for 30 seconds. Yeah, I know, this really is as good as you think it might be. As I watched this, I absolutely died. So first we get Charlie out of the way, and clearly those hips knew their way around the dance floor. We've totally established that it's totally him now, so anyway, then it's time for Rick the Dick. Steady yourselves, ladies.
Come on, let's go dad dancing.
Well, that was something, wasn't it? Not bad though for a dad dance. I'm sure we've seen worse. Next is Scott, who TJ said has the best moves there. Okay, ready? Are you ready for the best moves here? Well, here we go.
Dad dance.
Well, I'm pregnant, but you ain't seen nothing yet, because up next is Crying Carl, and he looks like he's the youngest of the group, so he's probably familiar with a few shapes, right? Well, there might be some shapes in there that you've never seen before. In fact, he uses some parts of the body you'd never knew could party quite like it was 1959.
Yeah! Woo! Dad dancing. Woo! Come on, let's go dad dancing.
I think one of my favourite moves was the swish the floor move. That's a beaut, isn't it? But what does TJ think? Well, she thinks it's a toss-up between Scott and Carl. Carl? Really? Did she watch what we watched? Did she not see the elbow dance at the start? Okay, sure, well, it's up to her to guess. Then we go back to the mansion so she can message her father on the internet, which everybody was very impressed by in 2005. But she clearly doesn't know how to type, so they kind of fake it.
Okay, tell me what I need to know.
And that whole scene is so fake. The typing, the conversation. It's just him telling her that her mum had freckles and he needs dance lessons from her. And it left her now thinking that Rick the Dick is probably her dad. It really did actually suck and kind of kills the moment, so I've left it out of the video. So, off to elimination number 2, and this time she has to get rid of 2 men, and therefore leaving her with 2 groups just like before. First up is Rick the Dick.
So I feel that you're not my father.
Scott then goes through to the next round, leaving her with Carl and Charlie. And after some more tears, Charlie gets through, and Carl leaves for the loser's enclosure. But was she right? Has she managed to keep hold of her father?
I have to tell you that your dad is...
She's right. One of these 2 men are her father. But we can't just find out. We need one final game, as they're going to stretch this out for 6 episodes. But before that, let's quickly find out who these guys were. Rick the Dick was a man called Steve Peterson.
My name is Steve Peterson, and I'm a singer-songwriter, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
You know, I went looking for him, right? Well, I couldn't actually find anything. So perhaps he was on the local independent scene? I did find this guy who goes by that name, but it's not really clear that they're the same person. Carl was a guy called Don Gilmore. So, now the challenge is set. Which one of these men is her father? But we have to wait till the morning. And as the sun rises, TJ watches a video from her dad's old school friend, who gives her the background to what happened and why her dad wasn't around. Just before she was born, her father was leaving college, but at the time he had very few choices, but he knew he would get drafted into the army and go and fight in the Vietnam War. So he chose his own path and went to boot camp. Just before he was due to leave, TJ was born, and he went to visit her in the hospital. He stood there holding his baby and knew that he had to be there for her, and decided he was going to try and run away from the army. Unfortunately, the nurses noticed and a couple of large orderlies blocked him from leaving.
I just wanted to tell you that your dad's always been thinking about you and always been trying to find you.
Next, TJ has to sit with each man so she can ask them anything she wants. And she does go for a proper question this time. What happened? Why did you give me up? Which is such a heartbreaking thing to watch. Scott shows up and does a pretty poor job of it, to be honest. He doesn't mention the war or the hospital or anything that was mentioned by the dad's friend, which made it even more emotional when she then meets Charlie, and he tells her how sorry he was, how he couldn't get out of the army, and that he held her in his arms and named her before it was time to be taken away. It was such a touching moment. And while I can't play all of it here, I'm going to do a watch party of this on my Discord soon, so keep an eye out for that. But there was one highlight to it. Charlie talks about how he values things that are made by the hand and heart over any material things. And he's even drawn a picture of what he thought she might look like.
But this is the picture that I have had in my mind for the last 20 years.
Yes, indeed. He'd thought so much about her that he'd got an image in his mind and just had to commit it to paper. An image of who that little girl he held at 6 weeks had turned into all this time later.
Love, Dad.
Yeah, even she thought that was funny. Could have learnt to draw though, couldn't you, after all this time? It says Tammy Michelle, which is the name that he gave her, even though her initials are now TJ. But, never mind that. He says, I love you, something, something, something. That was nearly a really touching moment, wasn't it? And then he shows her this monstrosity. And then she tries to hide the fact she's laughing.
Love, Dad.
And now the big reveal. And instead of lining up, she stands in front of a silhouette. And all she has to do is say his name and see if she's right. So was she? And did we have it right too? Well, there's only one way to find out. Here's TJ's dad.
Sweetheart, I'm home.
Yes, indeedy, it was serial killer Charlie. And he would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those pesky kids. And bless him, he's overcome with emotions and guilt and has one question for her.
Please forgive me for the pain that I've caused you.
No. No.
Did you mean yes? I mean, clearly she means no, don't feel the need to apologise, but it kind of comes across a bit differently because she says no. But we know what she meant, and luckily Charlie does too. Although he doesn't actually shed a tear, which is a little odd, but who cares? They're together again and all is well. But we didn't find out who Academy Award-winning Scott was. Well...
TJ, my real name is John Robbins, and I wish the two of you the best.
So, in the end, TJ wins the 100k, gets her dad back, and finds out that she has 3 sisters. And you know what? That's not all. On top of that, they even managed to find her mother, who's reunited with her long-lost daughter.
Oh, look at you!
At the time of TJ's birth, her mother was only 17 and her father was 18, and the mother got put into an unwedded mother's home, where her mother's parents made the decision that TJ should be adopted, regardless of what TJ's mother thought. Now you may wonder why I called TJ's mum TJ's mother. It's because her name was never released, and 2 decoy names were used, Cynthia Rube and Bobby. Now she is referred to as Bobby in the show, but that's never been confirmed. So was it all worth it? The show's premise, an adoptee guesses her biological father from a lineup of 8 men for a cash prize, was widely criticised as exploitative and emotionally manipulative. And adoption advocacy groups protested the show, arguing it trivialised the deeply personal and often painful process of family reunification. One Fox affiliate, WRAZ in Raleigh, North Carolina, refused to air the special, opting instead to show a documentary about adoptive families. TJ Myers also faced a lot of backlash after the show. It was revealed that she was a former model and actress, with prior roles including a softcore film entitled Seduction of the Innocent.
It'll take time, Jim. It'll take time.
This revelation led to some critics questioning the authenticity of her emotional reactions and the show's premise, suggesting it might have been more scripted and performative than advertised. The show ended up airing as a 90-minute Fox special and was intended to launch a full season, but due to modest ratings and intense criticism, Fox shelved the remaining episodes. Those remaining 5 episodes were aired later, quietly on the Fox reality channel, but not the main channel. And did Fox and Friends learn their lesson? Of course not. There's also a show called Who's Your Mummy? Good job. And if you find it, and you guys like this video, maybe I'll cover that one too. So, was it all just an act? Well, my dear viewer, I think that answer is a touch blurry. Thank you so much for joining me on this adventure. It's been an absolute pleasure to share this little story with you. I hope you'll be back soon for more offbeat reality reviews and news here at the Manor. So if you like what I do, then please do like, subscribe, and check out one of these little beauties. So until we meet again, stay beautiful, love to my 3, and you take care of yourself.